I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks, the spin-off of the web series The Two Dicks. This is the podcast of The Talking Dicks. I'm Al Romas in Tampa, Florida. Over there on the West Coast, California, my partner, the detective, Al Ducharme. Hello, Alfred. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well. Much better than I was on the last podcast. I was kind of like on a different planet, which can be good for the podcast at times, but it wasn't on the last one. But I do recommend that you go listen or watch the whole thing and make your own decision on that.
Yeah, and people should check out, you released a video today over on YouTube and Facebook, and tell us about that over at the Joshua Tree, you and your wife, Bernadette Pauly.
Yes, we were there a couple of weeks ago for a little getaway. We went to the desert. Very nice. Looking forward to doing it again. And I always wanted to make a video short out there, something to do with the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of a takeoff. So we did a little bit of short, silly Valentine's Day release video about a couple discussing which vaccine they'd like to take, and things escalate.
Timely. It's timely.
It's timely.
Yes. Everyone's talking about the vaccines. And, you know, they say the rollout is slow and all, but I don't know. Everyone I know or hear about who's 60 plus years old, they seem to have the vaccine already.
Yeah.
I know it's slow, but
it says 65 or older, and I'm hearing all these people that are like 60, 61.
A lot of, yeah. So everyone's complaining, but I don't know. It seems like if you're 60 plus and you want it, it's available, you know? So go get it.
You know, the Colonel Wick.
Colonel Wick
down in the desert area, down towards there, Palm Springs area. She claims that she was able to walk into CVS and get it. She says it was slow. There were no crowds, and she was there, and they just gave it to her. And I don't even think that I think she's still much younger than that.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
Decades. So I don't know. Maybe she's just looks young.
A past guest of ours, Simeon Kirklees from Royal Caribbean, the comedian, he has it. He's in his mid-30s. He got it. He just lucked out. He was one of those people hanging out some store, and a CVS they're going to throw out about 20 of them.
They came
in and said, "Anybody want it?" And he came in and got it.
Yeah, they say there's 7 vials. I heard 10, but I heard there's 7 shots in a vial, I should say, 7 shots. But they're only marked for 5. So they have all these extras. So they'll just throw them out. And they say if you show up and there's nobody there, because they have to be kept at a certain temperature, and once they're taken out, they can't be put back. They're like, we're not going to throw it out. So I think that's a good way to do it. Now, I guess they give you the card, and that automatically allows you to get a second shot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people are doing that. They're hanging out at these CVS's and Walgreens and places at 6 o'clock or whatever, 8 o'clock, and hoping for the best. So, maybe that's a way to go do it.
But some people go, they're cutting in line. No, they're not. They're moving things along. They're committing to something, waiting sometimes a long time to get this thing that's going to be thrown in the garbage and then make room for another hospital bed.
Well, yeah, in Florida especially. We got the British strain here. We got all sorts of weird strains going on down here in the Florida area, and our governor says, "Don't worry, it only attacks blue states." So there you go. He's on it. They call him Death Santis. He is on it. Only attacking blue states. Thank you, Governor.
I would not want to be a governor of a state right now because
ever.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow, especially now. Because you can't do any right. You can't do any right.
No. Speaking of lines and lists and people, I have something I found interesting on the old internet, and I want to get your take on. This is the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I have the official list of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. Let's go through a few of these and see where we stand. If a yay or a nay, like we're in the Senate. Okay, Rock and Roll. Let's put that first out there. Rock and roll. Okay.
Okay, because there is a problem. Let me hear some of these names. Okay.
The first one on the list, Mary J. Blige.
Rock and roll?
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock and roll.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Mary J. Blige.
A great artist, no doubt.
Sure.
Rock and roll? See?
No.
What qualifies rock and roll? Because I always
What?
I think mostly men bands, men singers, but
Men
certainly
who
women.
rock.
Yeah, who rock like rock. I mean, would you
Yeah.
throw Pat Benatar in there?
She should be on the list. She should be in.
Joan Jett.
Joan Jett, I think, might be in.
I think
I'm
she
not
is.
positive.
Yeah,
I think
she is.
the Pretenders have to be in.
Yeah.
If they're not, Chrissy Hine rocks like anybody.
She's
But
a rocker.
Mary J. Blige, that you got another. There got to be another kind of blank of fame for a Mary J. Blige.
Well, because she doesn't want you don't want to lump her in pop because she's not pop. She's in this category of progressive.
Snooze. snooze. She's a snooze.
She's
we don't want her.
But is she?
She's an artist.
But is she like crossover rap?
I don't even know.
R&B. I don't know.
I go Noah. So I think we're both on board saying no to Mary J. Blige.
No to Mary J.
The next one, Kate Bush.
No.
Kate Bush.
No.
No.
She was a studio recording, and this has nothing to do with being women, by the way. It's just we just named a bunch of women rockers, by the way.
Exactly. They're not rockers. Come on. So she's a no. Forget her.
Well, maybe because of their age, they're rockers.
I think, I think anyone who sold a record gets on the list eventually.
Yes.
You're not talking about Mary J. Blige, are you?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
She's been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we're saying she's not a rocker. She's like a rapper, rhythm and blues artist.
Oh, okay.
Talented. Not taking that from her.
What's going on in the peanut gallery?
My executive producer is heckling me.
All right, Mr. Man.
We qualified it with saying there were a bunch of women who Chrissy Hines of the
We
Pretenders.
don't have to explain.
Joan Jett. Joan Jett likes.
We're not.
She likes boys and girls, and she's a woman.
These are the
she's
talking
a rocker.
dicks.
She doesn't like
These are the
talking dicks, ma'am.
How dare you?
Not the whining pussies.
That's on after this. Subscribe to that one too, the whining pussies. Our next one, ready, Alfred? Now this one, Devo.
No.
Devo.
No.
Yo, you don't go Devo? They were big.
Yeah, but they were. What were they called?
Whip it. Whip it
good. Whip it out. No, they were.
They rocked.
You can whip it. And I remember goofing around. They were like a silly. What were they called? A techno band?
That was techno
and new wave. They were new wave.
Flower pots on their head. They
new
were
wave techno studio.
De-evolving. I never got it, but
boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Bum 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 bum.
So we're saying no to Devo. Yeah, you're right. No Devo. No Devo. Okay, next one. Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah. One of the last remaining real American rock and roll bands. Foo Fighters. That's my vote. I think you were going to say something.
I a little early maybe for the Foo Fighters, but I would say yes compared to the first three.
Oh my God, they're a rock and roll band.
I know. I don't know Hall of Fame though. Hall of Fame,
their body of work is ridiculous. Their body. I have to qualify that by saying they're one of my favorite. They're one of my favorite bands. So.
Right. I'm saying in 5-10 years from now, yes. But right now in 2021, are they Hall of Fame worthy?
They're in their 50s.
Fighters?
They've been around for 35 plus years. You got to remember, Dave Grohl started out with
Nirvana.
Nirvana and what's his face? The guy who blew his head off.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. So,
did you know an interesting fact I heard the other day? Tom Petty offered Grohl the drummer job in the Heartbreakers after Nirvana ended.
Oh,
he said, "How about you want to drum with us?"
Oh,
and he was going to take it, and he just thought, you know what? I don't want to sit behind the drums. That was Nirvana. I want to be a front guy.
Right.
And he just happens to play great guitar, so he started his own band. So you're giving Foo Fighters a yes.
Oh yes, and he's a great drummer, but he had aspirations. He was a lyricist, music writer, composer. His very first recording was a studio demo that he made, produced himself.
Okay. All
and
instruments.
Sent it out. Sent it out on cassettes.
Right.
And one of the agencies says, we want to sign you, and we're going to release the cassette. What? He goes, no, we're going to go in the studio and re-record it, make it good. He goes, no, this is good. And it became huge.
Yeah, that was the old line in Nirvana. I think Cobain used to say the best guitarist in Nirvana plays the drums.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that guy is, he's talented. Oh, all right, I'll give him a yes for that. How about next one? The Go-Go's.
No.
The Go-Go's.
No for the Go-Go's.
We got the beat. Our lips are sealed.
That's why we couldn't get pregnant. Their lips were sealed. Thank you very much.
Good night. That was Al Ducharme, 1989 at the Connection in Providence.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Was that considered a stock line, which now is called a hack line? What was that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's old. I mean, I've heard it. I used to hear it a lot, so I'm just going to go.
That's why it came out like nothing.
Yeah.
It was like a bar joke, and it made it way to stay. All of a sudden, you have some MC doing it.
Exactly. Here, all right. So no to the Go-Go's. They don't belong.
No, they don't belong.
All right, this one's a no-brainer. Iron Maiden. How are they not even in yet? Iron Maiden.
Of course.
They rocked through the 70s, the 80s.
It was metal. It was heavy metal.
Come on. They were great.
It was like over obesity of metal, but yes, clearly.
They should. I thought they were in 20 years ago. All right, next one, Jay-Z.
No.
Jay-Z, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Huge
Jay-Z.
body of work. I mean, changed things for people.
Well put. What do you think of Jay-Z? Oh, he changed things for people. Oh,
well, he went to clothing line as well, didn't he? Wasn't he another one who went into clothing line?
He might have some clothes. I'm putting a line through Jay-Z. We're not interested in Jay-Z.
No, he's definitely prolific rapper. Changed rap, definitely.
How about Chaka Khan? Chaka Khan.
I just can't.
Chaka Khan.
I'm not putting her in there. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. Cut my lawn.
Chaka Khan. I remember when we went to war with in the 90s with I guess Iraq, and it was shock and awe, and I went on stage and I was doing that shock and awe instead of Chaka Khan, and see, there you go. There's some good comedy for you. Snooze. All right, Chaka Khan. No. Now the next one, Carole King.
Does she fall under pop folk?
That's pop, but she belongs in every rock. She belongs in every hall.
Yeah.
Those songs.
No. Yeah, I can't. Yes.
And she wrote for the Monkees some of the biggest hits.
Yep.
She wrote those songs.
She was a songwriter, and
Last Train to Clarksville, and whatever those other Monkees songs.
That's a very good song.
It's a great song. I go yes for King.
I go for King.
All right.
Yes. King is
Good.
king.
LL Cool J.
No, rapper.
No rocking.
Not putting the rappers. They should have a subdivision or something. The rappers.
Subdivisions.
Rappers.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you're gonna,
or just
rappers.
Hall of Fame. Rap Hall of Fame.
Rap Hall of Fame.
Let's leave rock and roll
out of it.
These guys. The next one, the New York Dolls. A little before our time. The New York Dolls.
Yeah, they were like the underground. Was that the part of the underground?
Yeah, that was the guy, I forget his name right now, the guy who became Buster Poindexter during the MTV shit. I think just for doing that, though, he should be eliminated. For being Buster Poindexter.
Changing his...
That was terrible. That was garbage. So,
he also,
but the New York Dolls,
In A Christmas Carol with Bill Murray, he played the taxi driver.
Yes, David, Johansen?
Yes,
am I right on that?
David Johansen.
I guess you have to go New York Dolls. I mean, I'm sure they were influential. I think they inspired the Ramones and bands like that.
So we'll say yes for them.
I give them a yes. The next one, this is a no-brainer. Rage Against the Machine. Come on. Tom Morello. He's in.
That's rock.
Rage Against the Machine.
That's rock.
Fucking
heavy metal.
Arm the Homeless. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Next one, I don't know how he's not in. Every year he's on the list. Doesn't get in. Todd Rundgren.
Oh.
How the fuck does Todd Rundgren not get in?
Again,
what's going on?
Body of work. What style of music was that, though? It was.
Well, just on his producer, he produced the band.
Yes.
He produced Nas.
He should be in there. But what style of music did he have? It was kind of its own thing, right?
It was its own thing. He's a wonder. Remember, he was 22-year-old producer of, and they were like, he was like this wonderkin genius.
Music industry genius, rock and roll Hall of Famer, definitely.
Had a hit. Hello, It's Me was
Hello,
number one.
it's been a while.
That's not the song.
How much? How are you?
Hello, it's me. There was a movie. Now I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the movie with Paul Giamatti. Do you remember this movie where he sang karaoke? He would go to karaoke bars. He was a businessman, but he hated his life, so he quit to sing karaoke. And he would sing "Hello, It's Me,"
but I know
which was
the
great.
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job with "Hello, It's Me." Also, just an interesting side note: Rundgren put out an album. He had a band called Utopia, and he put out an album in the '80s, "Outstanding in Their Field," and it was a Beatle. He tried to copy the Beatles. He played all the original instruments with the original amps, the original studio, and wrote 12 originals that sounded like early Beatles. And it's a great album,
Wow.
Outstanding in Their Field.
So he was able to get the ambiance. I'd never
Completely.
listened to it. Okay, because
Completely. And I've looked for it, and you can't find it anywhere now. It's not streaming. It's not anything. So.
Well, I remember that the late great Tom Petty. I was a big fan of Tom Petty and of course the Heartbreakers, but he recreated his studio in his home from his early recordings, and he got some famous recording studio, and they were like knocking it down. So he went in and pulled it all apart, reassembled it to get that. He said it was a specific sound that you could only get because of the wood and the way it was arranged.
You can see that studio. There's a YouTube thing with Gary Shandling did an interview kind of thing with Petty.
Oh.
And they're sitting in that studio talking. He's talking about that, and he's smoking throughout it. And Shandling keeps going like, I can't believe you're smoking here. Like, and he's like, why not? It's my studio. I'll do what I want. But
not only that, but a lot of those rockers would smoke and have whiskey and record. Okay,
Sure.
Let's take another one. Let's hit it a little harder on the drums,
All right. So we go yes
man.
on Run, of course.
Yes,
and
okay.
Tina Turner. Yes.
I got to give the yes on that. She.
Yes.
Okay.
Rocker.
Definitely a rocker.
Oh my God! Early days, holy shit! She rocked, and she got beat up, and her husband punched her in the face. I mean, that's rock and roll right there. When your husband is beating the shit out of you, and you still go on stage and do 3 shows, she gets in the hall, no doubt about it. And the last one, very odd. I don't know what they're doing. Dionne Warwick.
No.
Dionne Warwick.
No.
What's going on there?
She knows. She's psychic. She knows that she's not in. Again, her what was it? Burt Bacharach? Was that his name? Bacharach?
Oh, he was
the composer.
They're very nice songs.
Beautiful ballads.
Not rock. Not rock.
No, not rock.
No, and
you
that's
can have
the
a
list.
rock ballad though.
That's the list. Oh well, all bands they always throw a ballad on, but nobody's saying, "Hey, put on some." You're having a party and someone goes, "Hey, put on some Dionne Warwick." I want to get stoned and no. So that's the list. We went Blige, no.
Mm-hmm. No.
Bush,
no.
Bush,
no. Well,
Al says no to Bush. Devo,
no. No. It was a big no from me.
The Foo Fighters, we liked it.
Big. You were on the fence. You
I
thought
think
that
it's
they
a
were
little
too
early.
young, and I'm trying to tell you, they're in their 50s.
No, the work though. I feel like that's like a baseball player who he's good, but he needs another 5 years of hitting 300. Then he'll be in the Hall.
I'm telling you, those numbers are there. Go look at the body of work. And it is Dave Grohl. It is Dave Grohl. So count the 5 or 6 years with Nirvana.
I like that other guitar player in the band too, Pat Smear. That makes me laugh. That just makes me laugh every time. Pat Smear. Go-Go's, that was a big
no. That was a big no for me.
Iron Maiden, of course.
Yes.
Jay-Z.
No.
Chaka Khan.
No.
Carole King. Yeah. I go yes on that.
I'll go yes.
I think Al's on the fence.
I was a little bit on the fence because I was trying to figure out her style of music, but certainly worthy, just the songwriting.
LL Cool J's a big no. The New York Dolls, we don't know the work, but they have to.
We do know their
guess.
Reputation as being rockers and pioneers.
Yeah. Rage Against the Machine, big yes. Rundgren, we go yes.
Yes.
Tina Turner, yes. and Dionne Warwick was a big no, not happening.
All right.
So we'll see. We'll see how we do on one of these podcasts coming up. We'll see. We'll get the results, and we'll see how good we did compared to the actual entrees. And also on my my envelope, we have a question.
Before you get into the question, I want to remind people to please go to Patreon and help support us to keep us alive. And that's patreon.com/the2dicks. This is the Talking Dicks podcast, or Talking Dicks comedy podcast, I should say, because we had trouble getting on certain platforms. They wouldn't take the Talking Dicks.
Yes, and you can see the video on the Patreon. We put other videos too, but this video that you're hearing, or audio, you can see it on Patreon. And who doesn't like to see things and see us go through this list?
Also, one more thing. Check out our web series, The Two Dicks.
Two Dicks. Yes, all on YouTube. All right, question time. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, this one comes from somebody that says, hello, Talking Dicks. What is your favorite Eddie Murphy movie? Favorite Eddie Murphy movie? Favorite. Eddie, not the best, I guess. Just
right.
Favorite. Favorite.
I got to go. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You go first.
No, start it off. Start it off with
48 Hours.
48 Hours. That was my. That would be my answer also.
Oh, okay.
His first movie, and the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best.
Nick Nolte. That chemistry those two had, and another 48. I didn't even see, but I heard bad things.
Did not see the other 48 either.
That
no.
was a paycheck for both of them.
Yeah. Because you figure, what did he make on the first one? He was unknown. Not unknown, but starring in his first movie. Probably not that big a deal.
A couple $100,000.
Yeah, but then Trading Places came out within the year, it seemed.
Big hit.
That same year.
Big hit.
That was huge. Mm-hmm. And then, am I wrong? What was it? Is it Beverly Hills Cop, possibly?
Monster.
It was like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It was fantastic. So I think we're both on 48 Hours on that one as the faves.
Hey, here's something. Jonathan Banks, who plays Mike, the ex-cop turned hitman in Better Call Saul, is the one that he has out now. But
Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad, yes. He was in 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, you're correct, sir. I forgot about 48 Hours. He's in the beginning, right?
He's a cop in 48 Hours. And then in Beverly Hills Cop, he's one of the henchmen to the mob guy.
You're right. He's been around, man.
And they throw him over a table. Eddie Murphy's character throws him over a brunch table, like at a Beverly Hills hotel brunch. And he's completely covered with food. It's pretty funny, actually.
And he was in your show. Wasn't he last season on F is for Family?
He is. He played Frank's father, Frank Murphy's father, which is voiced by executive producer, co-creator Bill Burr. And he played his father. And he was great. I thought he was going to be on more.
Did you get a chance to meet him? Were you at any recording sessions with?
Unfortunately, I did not. And some of the really high-profile people that they don't even come to the table reads or whatnot. In the beginning, when you have the big table read at the hotel ballroom and there's 80 people, there's celebrities there. But for the most part, they have a schedule. Sometimes you overlap waiting in the waiting room at the recording studio and you see somebody and you just give them away. Give them a wave.
Right.
And, that's about it.
Get out of here. Fuck off, Banks.
So there's no and they also protect those people. They have handlers and whatnot. Even though you're a part of the cast, and unless you're someone significant, you can't just approach them.
Yeah. Hey, Banks. Let's get some lunch after this.
Hey, Banks.
After we record.
Let's torch a stick right outside here.
Yeah. Come on. Why not? Oh, that's so we were both 48 Hours. I think that was really, to me, the most impressive first movie, kind of when he was on screen, and some of those scenes where he's in the bar with the rednecks, and you just go, "How the fuck's he doing? He's 20 years old or something."
I wasn't thinking,
and he's
that.
commanding
Yes.
this whole thing. It's like, holy shit, he's good.
Yes, I was at that age. I'm like, this is cool. This kid's funny. He's taking control of it. There's a new sheriff in town. I loved all that aspect. Looking back now, I'm like, it's a little far fetched, but it was enjoyable to watch, and you were cheering the character on. And he has, Eddie Murphy had tons of charisma. So.
And he comes out of jail, and Nolte, the cop, gives him a gun just to go in a bar. He goes there, he gives him a gun. Like, oh, really?
It wasn't loaded though, right?
I don't. Maybe not. Oh no, maybe not.
He took,
maybe not.
He took the bullets out. Oh, thanks. Here you go, Reggie.
Oh yeah. Reggie, there you go. That's a good pull. Reggie.
Jack, tell me a bedtime story. Fuck you. That's my favorite.
Yeah. They were either saying "fuck you" or Nolte was just punching him in the face. A lot of punching. Just any question he asked the car. Wow.
It was It was actually good writing. It was, it was definitely Hollywood, but it had a good tone. Very violent. But it had some revenge, and overall, I enjoyed it. I give it a solid 9.5.
9.5. Yeah. Why not? I mean, it's a good movie. Mm-hmm. Can't deny it. And if it was on right now, I'd probably end up watching some of it. So that's a 9er.
Actress Annette O'Toole, redhead, played the girlfriend to Nick Nolte. Little trivia.
Interesting. You know who she's married to? I follow him on Twitter. That's how I know his wife.
Tell the folks.
Michael McKean.
Michael
McKean from Spinal Tap and Better Call Saul and a million other things. And he's one of those guys.
He played
Lenny. You might not even know his name, but
yeah.
Yep. But one of those guys, you just go, he's in everything.
Yeah, Laverne and Shirley, he played Lenny, Squiggy's counterpart. And Better Call Saul, he played 3 seasons. He plays Jimmy's brother, Chuck, and his performance is, it's outstanding. He's a dramatic actor.
Too, he was in a small part in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And there's a good video out about how they cut up that movie. It was 3 hours. And he had a real long scene, and he's in the video describing what happened. Because his scene is very quick where he pulls that car over, and he's just like, you guys can't drive. It's all burnt up. And he's like, you can't drive this. It's not roadworthy. And he's like, there was so much more to it that they cut out for time. And then they show some of those clips where it makes sense. Because otherwise in the movie, it's just like he gets pulled over and then he's out of there and they continue driving. So it didn't make sense. Yeah, but they show what happened. We'll fill it in.
Mm-hmm. That happens in a bunch of films where like a pretty high profile person, someone that you would definitely recognize, is in a little scene. And basically they were, hey, will you come do this scene? It's perfect for you. And then most of it gets cut out. But you get to see a few seconds of them. You go, oh, wow, they're in this movie too. And then you never see them again. It's just...
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
The original... Yeah, that's a good video to check out because it's about 45 minutes or whatever. And it shows there's a lot of scenes.
We're running out of time.
What? All right. Damn it. How dare you?
It says...
Well, I think we've covered everything. The envelope is full. And we covered it.
Okay, cool.
So
tell the folks where you're performing next.
Gig-wise, I don't know. I don't know where I'm performing next. I'm in New Orleans in May. So keep that on the docket. If you're in New Orleans in May, I'll be at some theater in May. I'll have details as the months get closer. How about you, Al? You got anything happening?
I have an outdoor midday event in March, and I'll talk about it more on the next pod.
Why midday? Do we know? Why would midday?
March, even in Southern California, it can be 78 degrees, 80 degrees, or it can be 50. So midday outdoor is fine with me. Weren't you complaining about your last gig in Tampa being freezing?
I was complaining about that. It was 2 weeks ago. It was 38 degrees when I walked onto the stage.
Well, there you go. I'll take the Southern Cal March mid-afternoon, midday.
I understand, and I need to go to the wig shop. I'm looking at myself. I need a wig shop badly, so I'll be heading that tomorrow.
Look at this crap. That's nuts.
You need a chop also, sir.
I need a chop.
Go get some.
I let it grow for my video, Vaccine Duel, which can be seen on YouTube. But poke around on Facebook, and you'll find it on the Two Dicks. Poke around.
Do some poking, folks. Do some poking.
Adios.
See ya.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. Fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
No, really, don't mess with me, because I don't come down to the bus station and slap the dick out of your mouth when you're working, do I? Oh, get on up here, motherfucker! Give me security. I'm sorry, man. The guy fucking came at me. What do you think, folks?
No way.
Okay, show it.
All right. Subscribe, Mary.
Patreon.com/forward2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.